Would you believe it if I told you that Elvis Presley once performed right behind me? Well, you shouldn't, because not everything on the internet is true. Little life lesson there from Ryan. I mean, maybe he did. Who can really say? But today I'm going to take you on the ultimate Elvis VIP tour of Graceland. I'm going to take you into the vaults of Graceland and put my grubby little hands all over Elvis's junk. It's fine, we're just going to blow right past that. Let's go inside Elvis's world, you old dirty birdies. I don't exactly know what this sticker's about, but it was a little weird seeing it there. Now, I had been to Graceland a number of times over the years. I think this was my third or fourth trip, and I signed up for the VIP tour, which allows you to go into the vault of Graceland and touch some of the artifacts that are there. But I had a couple hours before the tour started, so I started on the 2 airplanes that are outside, and it was really cool because there just was nobody there this early. So I got to be on the planes before anybody else got a chance to and look at all the vintage artifacts and things that they really do a good job of keeping clean and keeping looking era correct for that time period. The one thing I was hoping during this trip was they would focus a little bit more on the Aloha from Hawaii special, because it seems like every Elvis movie or every Elvis thing I've seen in the last couple years, it seems like his life kind of stops after the 68 comeback special. And there was so much more there. I mean, the Aloha from Hawaii special was one of the highest rated shows of all time, and it seems like it's never covered for some reason. Luckily, that wouldn't be the case here. As I wrapped up checking out these planes, it was basically time to start the tour, so we loaded in the bus and made our way over to Graceland. First thing they did was take us into a side room on the side of the building and kind of let us walk through everything. And then we did the normal tour that everybody gets to see, where you walk in, you see the living room, and all the crazy designs and everything that's there. The one thing I wish you could see is the way it looked like right before Elvis passed away, where everything was kind of that red and black look. I wish it looked like that, and obviously had to look upstairs to where the public is not allowed. I wish one day everyone would be able to go up there. The one thing they do talk about a lot on these tours, which I always find a little weird, is they love talking about how much girls love to smooch Elvis. And I don't know why that is, but they bring it up a lot to the point where it's almost a little uncomfortable, because there are just as many, if not more, guys on the tour, at least the ones I've been on, and they don't really want to hear how good of a kisser Elvis was all the time, but whatever. It's always interesting to me to think about all the moments and memories that have happened, in these rooms, specifically like the Jungle Room, the recording of all those different records and stuff like that. And I think it's really cool that some of the original horses that Elvis owned, their lineage is still preserved, and the descendants of those horses are still there and on that farm. And seeing, his father's office, and I've actually been to his house in Tupelo, so this was kind of cool to see the little miniature model of that as well. Now, a number of years ago, there was actually a bike that was hanging inside one of these rooms, and it was all rusted and beat to hell, and it was kind of cool to see that they took that bike and kind of reworked it and refurbished it to what it used to look like. And there's Elvis's birth certificate. And like I said, they do such a good job of preserving everything. You have actual original outfits and remotes, and what was cool is this was what I was hoping to see. This was kind of the furniture that was in that original den when you first walk in. So it's cool that this stuff still exists, and it wasn't just discarded once they opened Graceland to the public. And the racquetball court that they've kind of redone and remade in recent years to look like it looked when Elvis was here. So that was kind of cool. This is the first time I ever was able to see it looking as it did when he was here, along with the piano he played right before he died. After that, we took a look at the front of the house, which is cool. You got to take your picture in front of it, and there was really not a huge crowd. we kind of waited for all the tourists to subside and everybody could get their picture in front of the house. I didn't do that because I've got my own pictures, but after that it was time to go into the vaults of Graceland. So we started in this room and they kind of show us a couple different artifacts from over the years, and they make you put on these white gloves and they actually allow you to hold some of these artifacts. And what was cool for me was one of them was actually from the Aloha from Hawaii special, and I was able to hold it. It's that item right in the center there, as well as that necklace there. Those were two that he wore from the Aloha from Hawaii special. And it's really cool to be able to actually physically touch an object from that time period. And having seen that special so many times, kind of a bizarre feeling. Probably like smooching Elvis was. And this was the vaults where they're always restoring things. You could see to the left-hand side, there's actually a computer where they catalog everything and go over, and all of these like linen boxes are where they store everything. Everything is itemized and put into numbers and stuff like that. Right there, he's holding a pair of shoes that belonged to Lisa Marie. They actually had just gotten a number of items from her, being that she just had passed away. And one of the cool items that they show is these boxing gloves that were given to Elvis Presley from Muhammad Ali. So those were kind of cool to see up close, and we were able to hold those. Which was very interesting and kind of unique, and definitely worth the money for the VIP tour. These are the computers I was talking about, and I apologize for the shaky footage here, but this is the computer we were talking about that they catalog everything on, and you can see all the different photos that they take. Now, I'm not a car guy, but I did videotape a lot of the vehicles that were in the museum, just so anybody who might be a car fan could check them out. I was there mostly to hear stories about Elvis kissing, obviously. And the one thing they made clear is, as many cars as they have here, there's so many that this guy just gave away to other people or bought for other people. And that's one of the cool stories you always hear about Elvis, is him just randomly, buying somebody's house, buying them a car, and little things like that that just made Elvis seemingly just a great person as well as a great kisser. I'm sorry, I can't let it go. It's in my head now and I can't get it out of there. Now, another cool part they had was this Colonel Tom Parker exhibit. Now, I was running out of time at this point. I had to get on a plane. I was really cutting it close at this point, but I went through and filmed as quickly as I could, so I apologize if it's a little rushed. But I've always been fascinated by Colonel Tom Parker. I've been involved in professional wrestling for a number of years, so the promoter side of Colonel Tom Parker has always fascinated me. And they actually had what I was hoping they would have, the original furniture from the dens, as it looked when Elvis passed away, that really gaudy red and gold. And I mean, I know a lot of people say that the den is gaudy as it is currently, but I mean, can you imagine what it would look like if it was all red and gold, and how, I don't know, I just think that time period just looks so cool. And they also have some original pieces of the Jungle Room and capes and stuff like that were also on display, and you could actually touch them. They also had some props that were from, other celebrities that were either inspired by Elvis or who portrayed Elvis over time. So that was cool to see. And then, of course, there was always the 68 comeback special room, which, it's such a big part, such an iconic part of Elvis, especially with the movie that was just released. And, typically a lot of these movies or documentaries about Elvis, they kind of always end on that 68 special. And not that that's a bad thing, but it's just, that seems like that's where Elvis's life ends. And there's just so much more to it that I wish some of these documentaries would focus on a little bit. Of course, the famous If I Can Dream attire that he wore in that 68 comeback special. And a lot of these cool outfits that he wore during his Las Vegas residency. You could see one of the handkerchiefs that was still covered in sweat from all those years ago. Just such a cool setup that they have nowadays. It's so much bigger than it was the last time I was here, which was probably 2014. And some actual, Elvis worn items also on display, which was really cool to see. And this is where I think they've done the biggest upgrade. Typically, these were just put on mannequins and put in a room inside the racquetball court, at least the last time I was there. And to see them in these giant, almost toy display cases was crazy and just such a cool idea. And I don't think you can display something as cool as this any better than how they've done it at Graceland. They've just done a fantastic job. And it just seems like these costumes go on for miles and miles, all these different jumpsuits and the variations that he had. Just such a creative guy and just had a great team behind him. And they also had his final jumpsuit from his final special. Every great experience has its ending, and like most attractions, this one leads you right back to reality. We leave the memories, the music, and the moments behind and follow the same familiar path everyone does in the end. Because no matter how timeless the legend, every journey eventually ends in the same way. The gift shop. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. I forgot my script. Oh, okay. That is a Walmart receipt. I didn't pay attention when I pulled in here. I have no idea how to get back out of here. That's a thumbnail right there, baby. Thumbnailed it.